This is what a mystic notices when he's sitting around. When he has time to disconnect. Unfortunately, it's when he or she has had enough, mentally and physically. The physical follows the mental, and shutting down. How's that for a tree? How does that happen? How does it grow that much and have such a clean-cut stump? No tiny branches or twigs sticking off of it. What does a mystic notice? What does a mindful, consciously aware, sapient person notice? Do you see that tree? Let me trace it for you. This is what I notice. Tried, adapted, went with the wind, went with the storms. Died. That part of its personality died. This is a good metaphor for people. Then it reached out in another direction, realigning its will, its character, its intent, and grew. In more favorable times, letting go of the old, and prospering. What else was I noticing earlier? Oh, there you are. What do you think? Deer head or some other kind of animal? This is a, pardon my speech, this is a simulacra. Latin word, let's see, Simulcrum. And for the plural, simulacra. What else did I notice? What draws my attention? And this is all visually. There's a lot of sounds that draw my attention as well. And considering permaculture and blessing the world that made you, that hill extending down that way used to be entirely grass covered. On the north side of town, I found in a heavily forested area, and the city had sent people out to cut a lot of the trees down to reduce the density. They should remove those because as they dry up they are a fire hazard. So I picked up a lot of pine cones that were full of seeds, and I brought it out here, took the seeds, the pine cones out, and shook the seeds out all over that hillside. And now it's a small forest, which is kind of a very loose, generalized way of saying it, but there's something special about it. The trees, the pine trees growing over that over time have bent and curved in different directions, and that has given me evidence that that chunk of rock and soil, that piece of land, has been moving, slowly sliding like a glacier. I have never seen academic references to that type of geological activity. Thought about wearing my biking camera, which wraps around my head. The camera is placed above my right ear, but I could not zoom in and out on what I am focused on. I'm still looking for a way to say that what makes different types of people. So different, with different sets of knowledge and insight and such. There's a bias of perspective, which is actually a bias of consciousness. And consciousness is a bias of character. There's a lot of people who give you a lot of polished, charismatic presentations online, at talks and conventions and such. Those of us who know the most, who see the most, don't have that gift. Low charisma, high wisdom. That's quite important for the small number of you who are seekers. Ah, the woodpecker's visiting. Is it time to eat again, or are you... Yeah, that's a small tree. You're looking for food. Something else I know that other people don't know. When a tree dies and begins softening up, hardcore on the inside, shell on the outside, and just below the cambium, inside there, is where it really softens up. And the woodpecker is using something like a sonar with it strikes against the tree to feel where the soft areas are, and then burrows into it. It doesn't burrow into the absolute center, but between the center and the outer bark. I've looked at a few holes that they've made. Some of these trees have been blown down by storms, some of them still standing. What does a mystic notice? Patterns and disruptions in patterns. Contrasts. How the rock is layered, which direction it's fragmented. Oh, I just had that thought again, which I've done 2 times this month. Extroverts. Extroverts, ironically, are focused on the self, and introverts are noticed on the outer world, and they're introverted to quiet themselves, to perceive, observe, and process what's going on in the outer world. Extroverts want to fill the world and their space with themselves. Chew on that piece of beef jerky. Hawk. What is that right word I want to use? Why do people glamorize predators? The prey are more the innocent. And even some of the prey upholding predators in envy, wanting to be stronger. What does the mystic notice? They admire and envy the strength, grace, skill, domination, because they feel insecure. Well, I just got a hell of a sign. And another sign. So this is where I'm at. Personal journal, November, whatever, 2025. It'll be on the timestamp. Relating to palmistry, chirology, Chinese hand analysis, there is a line formation combination on my left hand on my history, which represents my cosmic orientation to the title of the Time Sage. The animal just made a noise down there. I'm climbing up this. It's rather steep, as you can see. And I ducked down to try to find out more what kind of animal this is. And just when I started recording, I saw something that looked like a squirrel, very high speed, running up and down that ravine one time. Well, anyway, just before the squirrel sign, I stopped, I looked, I noticed, hey, a couple of those twigs make a straight line. That twig from there, that twig from there. And then I noticed the full triangle. I got a triangle on my palm, but wait, trace my line, this way, this way, this way, this way. Another triangle in the middle. There, that. The same spiraling triangle in this complex mix of trees, which is phenomenally rare. Same formation in the lines of my hand reminded me of tidal. Something else that got my attention. The fungi growing here on this tree. Ancestral to life. And then this. Whew. So I have to interpret that. Focus on self, focus on history, origin, purpose, something like that.
The words you hear are based on me. Don't let the sophists fool you. Fear not upon the walking way. Just let hysteria rule you. In their own world the mad have laws, but only if they're written. The wise can write them different rules, for by the word they're smitten. Use no words for apologies if you seek absolution. Action is the walking way, and words are no solution. The wise avoid apology when ravers must be beaten. So sing not with a dusty tongue. No word is true